Well, for more on the housing front, let's welcome Victor Calanog. He is the Director of Research at Reis, a New York-based real estate research firm. His group reported that U.S. apartment vacancies declined in the third quarter for the first time in 3 years. Victor, welcome to Bloomberg News. Good to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
What does this number tell us?
It tells us that a lot more units are leasing up faster than we've seen at any point in history. Over 80,000 units were actually leased up in the third quarter. And we've started publishing quarterly figures way back in 1999. We haven't seen that kind of number at all. So it's a record high in terms of units leasing up.
Can we make the direct correlation between what Sue Keenan was just telling us about, the foreclosures, and what you're seeing?
I think on the margin, yes. A lot of homeowners are facing difficulties, both in terms of retaining their homes and actually staying in a place that they bought, and so the rental market is benefiting from that. Although we primarily track multifamily rentals, which might be a different world altogether from single-family homes. So they are, however, related.
Are there any other big factors that are contributing to the vacancies going down?
Well, one of the biggest factors would be that the supply situation is actually far better now for the multifamily industry. In other words, there wasn't as much of the overbuilding that characterized the 1980s or so. And so coming into any kind of increase in aggregate demand from, say, an improving job picture, we aren't exactly gaining a whole lot of jobs in the economy, but it certainly looks better than last year. A lot of the limited supply is benefiting from this increase in aggregate demand.
Now, that said, it's interesting because isn't the vacancy rate lower in existing buildings than new buildings aren't doing as well, are they?
That's exactly right. So
are they more expensive? Is that why?
They are trying to come into the market at about a 15 to 20% premium, pretty much offering the stainless steel kitchens and the various amenities that they believe they can still charge for. However, given that consumers are still pretty conscious about what goes out of their wallets these days, a lot of these new buildings are coming online anywhere from 50 to 60% vacant, actually.
Victor, given the economic climate, we're seeing a lot of folks offering just year-long leases. Is that correct?
That's right. Year-long leases, whereas the strategy about 12 to 15 months ago was to either offer 6-month leases to capitalize on any rent increases,
yes,
or try and lock you in for 2 years, figuring that rents might decrease even more. So they'd rather have some kind of predictable income over 2 years as opposed to taking a hit after 12 months.
Do you think this trend that you saw last quarter is going to continue, that the vacancy rate is going to continue to drop or stabilize from here?
I think it's certainly on the path towards stabilization. There are some seasonal factors, especially in the colder months of the fourth quarter and the first quarter, which tend to put brakes on any kind of absorption of new units. Typically, most people move during the second and third quarters, which means we might see a slight bump up in vacancies during the colder months of the year. However, it really appears that apartment vacancies are at least a leading indicator of sentiment in the market. I'll sign a 12-month lease now even if I don't have a job because I feel like I can get a job in 6 to 9 months.
What's the average rent we're looking at? What number are we talking about?
The $1,200 bucks a month, expressed on a monthly basis. This is across the U.S. for 79 markets. There are some very expensive markets out there. New York, for example, on average would charge about $2,700 a month. You can move to Tulsa, where things are really cheap at $540 a month. Wow. But yes, by and large, it's a big disparity in terms of rent levels.
No offense to Oklahomans out there.
Yes.
Victor Calanog of Reis joining us, talking about the rental situation here in this country. Thank you so much.